There's a long, long story. You know, I used to do a lot of traveling. And you'll notice on a plane, whether you're flying from Vancouver to Japan or Narita, or Vancouver to New York, or Vancouver to Calgary, it doesn't matter. You know, people look at their watches when they get on, and people that look at their watches when they're halfway, people look at their watches, you know, when are we going to arrive? And to me, you get on a plane to go wherever you're going to go, it's going to get there when the plane gets there. And it doesn't matter what time it is, it doesn't matter how long it takes, it's going to, and you have an idea when it's, but looking at the clock is a habit, okay? And that's fine, it doesn't matter. But anyway, I go back to 1969, when one of the first Japanese commercial television production. It was a commercial for Van jacket. It was very popular, men's wear then. They came to Canada to film their commercials, and they always had to have a Canadian activity scene with their model wearing a Van jacket, something, garment. Anyhow, they wanted a model with an Eskimo, and then those days we called them Eskimos. Today you say the Inuit people. But anyway, they wanted a model with an Eskimo. And he had to be in a kayak, and there had to be ice around there. And they were going to do this filming in May, late May. Well, in late May, where do you go to find ice in the sea? So anyway, I phoned my friend in Churchill, Manitoba. She was, we went to school together in Vancouver. Anyway, so she was my local coordinator, and I asked her, you know, is there going to be any ice in the ocean in May? She says, well, that's just about the time it breaks up. You know, maybe, maybe not. So I convey all this. Anyway, so they said, no, we're still going to go there. So I set up the arrangements to go to Churchill, Manitoba with the entire film crew and the model and all the garments. So there was about 20 or 25 of us. And so we arrived in Churchill, and they're going to take two scenes, but one was with a Eskimo and a kayak and the model in this jacket. Well, we went there, and the director and the producer went to see, well, here's the bay, and there was ice there. That was good, you know, and there was a little puddles here and there where they could have the kayak in, so, and they looked, oh, great, you know, we're going to do this tomorrow morning. Well, the next morning, about about 6 o'clock, the local native person says, hey, Gordon, knocking on the door, and he says, we got a problem. I said, what's the problem? He says, there's no ice. What do you mean there's no ice? I mean, there was all kinds of ice yesterday. Well, there's no ice now. So I wake everybody up, and we go rushing to the bay. You know, it's not far away. And sure enough, all that ice that was there is just floating, and it's spreading all out. Well, we came, and of course it ruins the whole filming. You know, we wanted a sheet of ice with some water in the forefront. Anyhow, we got back to the lodge, and we were going to have breakfast or whatever, and the producer and the director says, well, gee, you know, what are we going to do now, you know? Well, this elderly Eskimo Inuit person, he was around all the time. He's kind of watching us. He comes up and he says, I think you'll be okay. That ice will be back tomorrow. And we all said, how can that ice come? He says, well, we're just at the temperature where the ice is breaking, and if the wind blows from the land to the sea, it's going to spread out. If the wind, which is going to blow from the sea to the land, that ice will all come back. So, once he said, oh, wow. Anyhow, that evening, we were so impressed with this this elder Eskimo person. We started talking to him, and he started saying, "You know, you white people, you don't know nothing." This is how he started. You know, you spend millions and millions and millions of dollars to go to the moon. You know, that's just right when the space, you know, walked on the moon. You know, Johnson or Alex. Anyway, right after that, spent millions and millions of dollars going to the moon. You know, us guys, us Eskimos, we close our eyes, we're in the moon in 1 second. We'll be there. And we're just sort of, oh my gosh. and said, you white guys, you know, you eat breakfast at 7 in the morning, you eat lunch at 12 o'clock, and you eat dinner at 6 o'clock, you know, and you go to bed at 10 o'clock, or, you know. Everything's governed by the hour, you know. Going like us Eskimos, we eat when we're hungry. We sleep when we're sleepy. So he's going on like this. You don't need watches. and you know, yeah, we were listening to him, but I think we were all thinking, well, let's be realistic, you know. But there was just one moment that I thought, well, there is some truth, you know. Maybe I'll just pick a little bit of that. And from that day, I don't do a watch. I have not worn a watch. And I can always know what time it is, not exactly to the minute, but you know, like right now, I think, you know, you came at 1 o'clock, I'm sure it's around between 2 and 3 o'clock, so what, you know. But where it's important, if I have a meeting to go at 5 o'clock, I'll know, you know, there'll be a clock somewhere. I don't have to keep looking at my watch to say, well, you know, I only have an hour more, I only have 30 minutes. You know, I don't want to be governed by that. So that's why I don't carry a watch. I'm sorry I went on a little bit too long, but that's fine, you know. So no watches.